Hello everyone, welcome to English for 9th graders. In today's activity, we are going to learn about exploring narratives. Now let's move into the PowerPoint. So with the first page, we are going to talk about the definition. So what is narrative text? Narrative text is a type of text that tells a chronological story in the past tense, or narrative text is a story that is made sequentially in past tense sentences. Narrative text tells an imaginary story or a modified true story and is arranged through a sequence of events that occur in the past. And then next page. So, what is the purpose of narrative text? The purpose of narrative text is to entertain the readers through the amusing story. Yeah, this amusing story. For the amusing story, you guys need to remember the words on the right side of the PowerPoint. First one is the conflict and the climax. Conflict is the problem or challenge characters face in the story. This is usually solved at the end of the narrative. Then climax is the most emotionally intense part of a narrative. Move to the next page. We got types of narrative text. So we got several types of narrative. There are fairy tale, mystery, science fiction, romance, horror, adventure, fable, folklore, and etc. Fairy tale is a story about a fairy world, a story about a kind of fiction that has fairy in it. Then mystery is a story about solving, of course, a mystery because it is a mystery itself. And then science fiction is a story that related to science and technology that exceed reality from now on reality. It can be from future. And then romance, a romantic story between a pair of humans. Then horror, stories about ghosts or anything scary. Then adventure, a story about adventure. Fable, a story whose characters are animals. Then folklore that divided into myth, legend, and folk tale. Move to the next page. Then on the next page we got the narrative structure. On the first structure we got orientation. It is the opening part of a narrative text story. This part introduces the characters in the story and the setting of the story, which includes the setting of place, time, atmosphere, and social conditions. Then the second structure is complication. This section contains the problems that occur in a story. In more detail, complication is divided into three parts. The first one is rising action. Problems that begin to emerge is in this part of complication. And then climax, the peak of the problem. Then the third part is falling action. The tension of the problem begins to decrease and begins to find resolution. Then move to the next structure. We got resolution. In this part contains the resolution or ending of a narrative text story. Story can end with a happy ending a sad ending, or a cliffhanger. And then the last one is complication. Last part of narrative text structure usually contain conclusion or a moral message or value or a change in a character at the end of the story. This orientation is not a must in the narrative text. It is optional because it does not always have to be present in a narrative text. Then we move to the language features. If you want to make a narrative text, you should know the language features used in the narrative text. It is a good idea to understand the language rules first before you make the narrative text. So the first one is using simple past tense. Narrative text usually uses simple past tense because it will tell an event or story that has happened. That way, readers can understand the sequence of events clearly and help them get carried away into the story. For example, we got this part of sentence here. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a kind, generous old man. One day, as he was walking through the forest, he stumbled upon a giant squash. Amazed, he inched closer. Uh, as this part of the sentence, we can find that this sentence use simple past tense. Like the example is, there is 10 forms of live or lived here, and then he is walking into he was walking here, and then inch into inched here, which describe that the event has already happened. Then move to the next part using adverb of time. Adjectives are words used to describe nouns or pronouns, which can be people, places, animals, objects, colors, smells, or other abstract concepts. Adjective can also be called adjective. In narrative text, adjectives help create a more detailed or descriptive story. That way, it will stimulate the reader's imagination so they can get carried away into the story. We got this part of sentence here. The brave knight entered the dark, mysterious forest, ready to face any challenges that lay ahead. The example of the adverb used in the sentence is brave, dark, and mysterious. Then we move to the next using adverb of time. Adverbs of time are words that provide information about when an event occurs, how long, and how often the event occurs. In narrative text, adverbs of time help clarify context of the sequence of events in the story. This allows readers to more easily follow the storyline and feel carried away into the story they are reading. Examples of adverb is early morning. Uh, Sarah decided to go for a jog in the park. As she jogged, the sun began to rise, casting a golden glow over the trees. Later that day, she met her friends for lunch and shared her morning adventure with them. Time include today, yesterday, one day, tomorrow, last year, later, and so on. You can check the example of adverb of time in the narrative text in here. So we got early morning and morning adventure. Okay, next, using noun phrase. This is the last one. Noun phrases are words that function as nouns. They can be places, people, living things, and so on. Well, just like adjective, noun phrases are used to provide a more detailed description of narrative text. For example, the bright morning sun casts a golden glow on the calm waters of the lake, creating a breathtaking view. In the example above, there are several noun phrases, namely the bright morning here, then the calm waters of the lake here, which help provide a more detailed picture of the atmosphere and time in the story. Then we got a text here. Later, this text will be uh, exercise for you. We got the legend of Mount Batur. So you guys please can read this first, then I'll get you an exercise. The legend of Mount Batur. Okay, you can screenshot it if you want. We are going to move to the next part. Okay, next let's practice. But the practice, you guys need to join the Discord server. I'll give the link to the Discord server next after this. Okay, so thank you everyone for joining this class. Don't forget to do your work for the practice and see you next time. Bye bye. Okay guys, for the Discord server, you have to join from the link here. Then make sure you are joined to English for 9th grader like the picture here. Then please go to the individual tasks and do the task there. There is a multiple choice question, and then please submit your work into the individual submission. Thank you.